Welcome to the Lone Machinist podcast, the podcast where it's just you, your tools, and the work. No team, no backup. I'm Jamie from JSpec Engineering, and every episode we're tackling the highs and lows of flying solo in the machining world.
And I'm Curt from Confounded Machine, here to chat about everything it takes to make it as a one-man show in the shop. From grinding and turning to the struggles of running a one-person operation, we're sharing the stories, the tricks, and the challenges that come with going it alone.
If you're out there in the shop grinding away by yourself, or just thinking about taking a solo plunge, this show's for you.
So throw in your ear protection and let's talk about life behind the machine.
Good morning, Curt. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing on this lovely evening, Master Jamie?
Yeah, carrying on. Got a job ticked off the to-do list, so I'm happy.
Oh, that's always nice feeling.
It is. It's also one that I think I may turn into a product.
Ooh.
It's the compressor air controller, or the switch
nice.
thing, yeah. I got that installed today, and it works not like a bomb. It doesn't explode. It works really well. Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
We had to get into a funny boot loop, but it seemed to have stopped that shit when I left. Because obviously we've got a contactor switching three-phase. It's in a separate box a little bit far away with a suppressor on it, and it's still being a little bit weird. Yeah, but it seemed to be working when I left, so I'm happy. They wanted it to be 6 bar off, 5 bar on. So holding a 1 bar pressure thing, yeah.
Did you end up using a standard Arduino for that, or did you go with that industrial one?
Nah, we're in standard Arduino because the sensor output is 5 volts, and I actually didn't check, but I'm assuming the industrial one is also only a 10-bit ADC. Or 10-bit, yeah. So you're going to lose half your resolution. Not that it really matters, but yeah, I just used a normal Arduino. I'm thinking of making a PCB and just building an Arduino onto the PCB so it doesn't look like an Arduino. It looks like a custom solution. Meanwhile, it's just an Arduino Nano in a different form.
Nice.
Yeah, because to get a board spun up, really, it's not expensive. It's more just the time and effort of designing it and going through the iterations for prototyping.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But,
that's a wild world. How cheap that's gotten, how easily it's done now. It's just insane.
No, it's really silly. I promised them a version 2 of the system when I get around to it. So when I get around to it, I'll just go replace theirs with the V2, like custom PCB version of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that looks a little. They're happy. It looks expensive, so they're happy. I wasn't gentle.
No. Well, hey, if it works, then get them out of a bind.
Yeah, I quoted them for an industrial Arduino and then put, not an industrial Arduino in.
Nice.
I said to them, listen, I'm putting this in. If it's gives you any trouble, just let me know. I budgeted to go back there many times to fix it, so it's fine.
I was going to say, yeah, if it's close to you, like you've budgeted in the
the
troubleshooting.
I'm there basically once a week anyway. So I can always just go and take my laptop with and push new code or shove a new Arduino in it. It's really not a major issue.
Yeah, exactly. It's not controlling an iron lung. Like someone's not gonna die if it fails. So,
and if it fails in the on position, then the built-in pressure switch kicks in. And if it fails in the off position, then they can cry me a river and turn the other compressor on.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, like it's not in any way gonna put them out of business if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Nice.
Right, yeah. And then I was playing with their German eccentric press, because there's the normal relay that goes into the little base block thing. The Finder brand, I know they sell a wire that hooks into the base and retains the relay. I know this because I've had them in my fucking hand. But like hell, the locals can sell me one. So I was in there today with a piece of stainless steel MIG wire, bending a custom hoop to just hold the relays in, because it's on an eccentric press that's vibrating.
I get you. Okay.
Yeah. So that the relay was popping out of the socket. And while I was in there, I've knocked a wire loose. So then we turned the thing on to test it, and not working. So eventually I'm looking in there, like, hang on, turn the power off, reconnect the one wire, and then it's running now for them. I moved that cabinet for them like 2 weeks ago. Just moved it up by a foot and a half, just so the guys could actually work in it without laying on the floor.
Right, that's when you had to extend all the wires or reroute all the wires.
Yeah, reroute all the wires. It was tedious as hell, but that's done. I actually bought them a new fan. I need to just print a little adapter to go into their cabinet for the fan now. But
Cool.
yeah, so what have you been up
It's
to?
nice. Just finishing all the pens. Got all those done last week, which is lovely because it's kind of rather annoying. It's one of my larger batches to finish, and I don't like finishing large batches, but I also very much like selling large batches
Yeah.
because, yeah, this is my most financially good month to date. So that was kind of nice. So yeah, those all went out, and hopefully they will get to their destinations before any kind of postal strike weirdness happens here, because our postal
Uh,
services wanting once again like open to strike, so it's kind of they're on a hair trigger again. They have a list
yeah.
of very weird demands, so see how that goes. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
At the mercy of the postal service.
yeah, like I kind of warned everybody that one, I wrote it in their emails like, hey, if you're at all concerned, use another carrier. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
some of the carrier options are rather expensive, but some of them aren't all that much more. And a ton of people were just either they didn't read it or they're just gambling. So I'm like, okay, well, like
Yeah.
I did everything I can. Like it's kind of out of my hands now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, basically that. Now this week is a week of just play, so I want to kind of finish up that mechanism. That's my goal for this week, is to get all the fixtures built for it and finish it and see if it actually works,
Okay.
and then start the next run. So
Nice.
exciting,
Yeah,
exciting stuff.
that's sounds very exciting. Yeah, I see you've been really into the resin things. All the topics
Well,
are
like
resin related.
they're all like resin related because I've just been pissing around with that because I want to make this product so it's affordable, and to do that I can print it, but I didn't want it to look like a gross
Yeah,
printed product, so I put a shit ton of effort into printing well, and like I should have done this a long time ago because it's absolutely transformed how that little printer functions, and now it does like super nice prints. I mean, the TLDR of this entire podcast is going to be just like put a little heater in your resin, either like the way you said, just like using a little reptile heating pad under your vat before you get going, or just put like a little air heater in the unit itself. That's the way I went because I'm just lazy. I just want to be able to turn it on and walk away. And yeah, it's made the print like at least 2 times as good, which is nuts. Like the surface quality is perfect. The results are perfect. There's zero failures. Everything is just like, yeah, I'm very happy with how it's functioning now. Should have done it ages ago for the price. It should have just been like included in printers. Actually, nowadays I think some of the fancier resin printers have auto heaters built into them. I think it's just, yeah, I think it's mandatory, especially if you live in a climate where you're not 35 degrees continuously. Oh, you're muted. We can't hear you.
okay, there we go. I'm
There we
unmuted. I bumped some things on the keyboard. I was busy adding the title to the podcast quickly. Yeah, winter has arrived. I didn't want to get out of bed this
right,
morning. It was chilly because our houses here aren't insulated.
right,
Like
yeah.
it's cold for a few weeks and that's it. So we don't bother with insulation. Good God, it was cold this morning, and it's going to be cold tomorrow morning as well. I'm not very excited about this.
Aw.
Like even this afternoon at like 4:30ish.
Mhm.
Well, about 4:30, I went and stood in the sun with the dogs, and I'm like, screw this shit. I'm going back inside. The slight breeze is making it cold in the direct sunlight.
Oh
Like I
no.
might I might actually have to wear long pants.
I was going to say, what are you going to do? You're going to have to
Yeah.
invest in the other half of your pants.
Nah, I'm just gonna wear 2 pairs of shorts.
Pairs of shorts.
Yeah,
Just keep the important bits warm. Yeah.
exactly. No, I mean I've been running with for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've been wearing jumpers or sweaters all day.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get Danica to put things on them for me, but that's not going to plan yet. Yeah, there
Yeah.
are some
Well, I
spiffy new things.
was going to say a whole new line of shirts is coming out this month, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's out
Yes.
already. So
Oh, I haven't
yes,
even
so
pondered over there. So
let me quickly push that because my wife will appreciate it. So, if
plug
anyone
away.
wants to get one of the fancy shirts that my lovely wife and producer of this podcast makes, you can head over to jspeceng.com, and on our online store, you will find a couple shirts. New ones include the Chip Fans shirt, the Face Mill shirt, the geez, this warranty isn't going to void itself shirt. Um, there's 10 things I want in life, which is all regarding machining. Sorry. And then there's also, I didn't say it was fixed. I said it would work. Shirt. And then keep calm, I'll fix it. Shirt. So those are the new shirts available on the store. And the proceeds of that go towards, my wife.
Nice.
So yeah, go check them out. I'm going to get her to put them on my sweaters for me because I just spilled food on my sweater. Because I wear sweaters all the time now because it's chilly.
Yeah, fair.
It's chilly for the next 3 months or so. It'll be a little chilly. It's not too
Hmm.
bad. Like by the end of August, it's getting warm again.
I like those. I like those shirts.
Yeah, this warranty ain't gonna void itself is my favorite one.
That's a good one. I think I have to pick up the chip fans, that one, and the face mill one. Gotta.
Yeah, the Justin, I'm gonna send him one of those. He doesn't know it yet. He'll find out tomorrow. Um,
Oh.
he mentioned he wanted one of the ones for Pete. Um, your face. Okay, so Pete is the guy who started Chatter.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I need to just harass Justin and ask him what size Pete's shirt size is, and then I'm just going to send them both to Justin.
Nice.
Yeah, I won't say which
And,
one. I'm sure he will share it when it arrives. But yeah, I was checking with Danica if we have funds in the PayPal account to sort that out. And she's like, "Yeah, no, we'll sort that out." So we're going to send Justin some shirts.
oh, what the? Sorry. Hold on. Instagram
Nice.
decided to start playing music
Yeah,
for
because
me.
Justin keeps shouting me out on every podcast. It's awesome. Thank you, Justin.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, shouted out the Chip fans shirts on the latest with Intolerance.
Ooh.
Yeah, because they were discussing Zapatini going up to Canada. He's like, no, I'll just fly there and you just give me a tip when we're done sorting out your stories and I'll fly back. He's like, no, you're going to need to go in the Chip fans shirt. I was like, yep.
Sick. I think
So,
I'm
yeah.
halfway through that podcast, so I like
Okay,
that.
yeah.
I like those
Cool.
guys. Those guys, they make a nice team all together chatting.
Yeah,
It's very entertaining to listen to.
yeah, no, it is. I thoroughly enjoyed that episode. Took me a while to get around to listening to it, but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah,
I know there's I think Henry Holsters is like last week or something like that. They posted a picture. What is it like? Uh, born to
uh,
flow, forced to batch, or something like that.
yes,
I was like, I'm waiting for him to make that into a T-shirt because I'm like, I will buy that instantaneously.
yeah. No, that's freaking brilliant. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah,
so I don't know if you saw my number one topic there.
yeah.
Uh,
Your little probe that you fixed with tape and glue is not working
the
anymore.
probe is no, the probe is fine. The
Or the
probe's not the
table probe.
problem. Yeah, the table probe's
Okay.
fine. It's the
Oh.
interface.
Oh. Okay. Oh,
So
the
the
interface. I
interface,
should
yeah,
read. Yeah.
yeah. So the interface is a stupid little optocoupler board. There's one shop in South Africa that I can find that sells these. It's an optocoupler board that pulls the signal high. So it
Okay.
pulls it high and it pulls it low. So it's got a pull down resistor or whatever, pull up resistor, and it puts the signal high and low, not just float and then pull one way,
Right.
which is needed in this application to signal the controller. But I had one of these on the MCO, and it caught the autism a while ago,
Okay.
and it also gets really hot. So I ordered another two now so I can get my probe working again because I'm trying to finish a job and I can't touch with tools. Well, I can, but I have to do it manually and I don't want to.
Yeah, like a caveman. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have a workaround. I had to replace a tool. I was running a job. I have a workaround. It's just tedious as hell. So I don't want to do that.
Hmm.
I want my tool setter to do the tool setting things and go beep. And luckily I caught it. I touched something off and the beep was longer, audibly longer than it should have been. So I've got, basically it's a 4-channel optocoupler, and I think all 3 channels or all 4 channels are tied together. One of them signals the controller. The other one drives a buzzer. So if the tool setter trips, the buzzer, if the optocoupler is tripped, the buzzer runs. And it beeped for maybe half a second instead of zero point 0.2 of a second, but I could hear it wasn't right. So I retouched the tool and it's comma one off. Retouch the tool, comma one off. Touch the tool setter, it's beeping like it's supposed to. It's just not signaling the controller. So I think it's the optocoupler. We will find out hopefully tomorrow. I'm not actually sure because I asked it to be shipped with a certain courier company and it got shipped with a different courier company, which
Oh, okay.
only made me mildly annoyed because, I asked for it to be shipped with the one that does 24 to 48 hours shipping, not 3 to 4 days.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit annoying. So, is what it is. I can't undo it now. So,
Yeah.
it is
Well,
in transit. I'm just
I guess
checking
as long as you
where it is.
don't have a bunch of like in-process probing or like in-process tool checks, you're
Well,
probably okay.
the thing is, I've got a job coming up. Should get paid for this week, actually, Friday. That's going to need to do like 120 tool break detects.
Ooh,
So I
okay.
kind of need it. I need it functioning, and it's been in there for 2 or 3 months, I think.
Mm.
with the new interface, and yeah, now the thing's being stupid. And this happened before. The same little chippy did a similar thing. I moved it onto a different channel on the MCO because it was talking to my it was level shifting to the VFD, and then I blew the VFD up. And then when I
Mm.
put the new VFD in, I didn't need to level shift, so it was okay. Um, I think this thing is actually the reason the VFD blew up. I think something short.
Hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, not the biggest fan of them. I think I might just design up my own little thing or try to find a solid state relay that'll do what I want it to do.
I was gonna say
And build up.
this sounds
Yeah.
right. This sounds ripe for a quick little DIY, quick DIY. But I mean, if you're hosed, you're hosed. So we'll
Well, the
see.
thing is, I can put a relay in, but then I'm relying on the switching time of the relay, which is
Right.
fine. We're doing
Yeah.
100 millimeters a minute. Like the switching time of the relay is going to be inconsequential, but I don't want a relay going click, clack, click, clack. I would
Yeah.
prefer to
No.
have something solid state, hence the optocoupling situation that I had. I was actually thinking while I was driving earlier today, I could run a ULN 2003 driver chip, which can be used to
Mm-hmm.
drive steppers. Like, I think I have some somewhere. I just don't know where that somewhere is. So I might look around and see if I can find one of those or just order some. They're not exactly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then use that to drive the input of the controller. Either that
Gotcha.
or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
buy the $200 5-way tool setting that I want to buy off of AliExpress. Should
Yeah.
probably
I
just do
mean,
that. It
I said
comes with a
that
little
might be cheap.
interface thing.
Might be cheaper in the long run that way.
Yeah. So the only reason I can't go with the plunger one is because I can't figure out how to set it up. I was trying to read the manuals this morning and not having much luck. I
Mm.
don't know how to set the actual tool probe position on Siemens without it touching on five sides because the calibration routine touches.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know it's a setting. I can't find the
Yeah.
freaking proper manual for it. And the setup guide I have is for the TS27R, not for a plunger
Right.
type tool setter. Otherwise, I would have put my plunger type tool setter in already because I have one of
I
those kicking around.
I swear I remember being able to manually put in all those values. I
Um,
wonder, like I thought because they're grayed out normally when you're in the calibrate probe position, whatever. But I wonder if you enter into manufacturer mode and then go into calibrate tool. I wonder if that's when it made it
oh,
visible.
speaking
I thought
of
I did. Maybe I'm drunk, but
speaking of entering into manufacturer mode or setup mode,
yeah,
what is the password on your controller?
same as everything. I'm assuming, which is Sunrise.
Oh, okay, cool. I was curious.
Yeah, I think that's like worldwide. It's
Yeah.
just Sunrise for Siemens.
After probe
So
calibration, data should be saved at the below parameters. So I'm just busy reading here quickly because I've got the thing in my email. So I was just quickly having a look to see I've got the list of parameters.
oh, sick.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it tells me where the um, min direction plus direction. Okay, cool. So I could just type that shit in manually and not have to worry about it and then just calibrate the Z.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
minus direction.
because now that you
Okay,
mention it, yeah, those boxes are normally grayed out. Same thing. I was moving my probe around. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna just manually put these in because I'm like, oh wait, I
yeah.
can't. I'm like, I thought I could. I
Well,
swore I could, but
when
maybe I'm.
you're in God mode in the controller, you can do anything you want. You
Oh,
just got to go look it up.
I have. You can change one of the configuration bits so you just stay in God mode. I had it like that for a while, and I was like, I'm gonna flip
Does
this back.
yours
This seems like a
does
bad
yours have
idea.
a key on the front?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
mine lives in. I turned it to the God mode and threw the key into there's a little thing in the front of the machine.
well,
I'm like,
you're
fuck
in
that.
God mode, but you're not in
Well,
manufacturing God
yeah,
mode.
no, not manufacturing God mode, just God mode. Like I want to be able to do
Yeah,
everything on my machine, and then it's
yeah,
got setup mode and then user mode or operator mode.
yeah. I
Mine's
know.
in
I put
God
Yeah,
mode.
I put mine in God mode too, and I was like, "F this!" Like, I don't need to be remembering to turn because then it's a weird thing. It's like, why
Yes,
don't I have permission for this? I'm like, oh, stupid key click. So I'm just like, no, F
yeah.
this.
No,
God
my
mode, throw the
key
key
got
away.
thrown into the cabinets. I'm like, screw that
Yeah,
shit. I don't need that
yeah,
thing in my life. And yeah, I
yeah.
often get into the parameters. And I was actually in the parameters the other day while I was machining something, just having a look at what the spindle torque, or not spindle torque, the axis torques were and
Oh,
the axis
cool.
loads and things. Like, because you can see it dynamically. It's like, ooh,
Right,
a
yeah.
whole 4 Newton meters of torque. It's like, it's freaking nuts. I can't remember what I was
Yeah,
machining, but yeah, I was in there. I was seeing what the access loads and things were like because I was bored. I was running a short operation.
There's something I've been meaning to F around with on Siemens. You can do a circularity test where it like dynamically reports, like it moves a machine in a circle and it dynamically
Yeah.
reports what the axes are doing and it like plots it on the screen. I
Okay.
briefly read about it and then just totally it's just kind of like a poor man's like
Interesting.
ball bar test. I mean, it
Yeah.
doesn't work because it's the machine telling itself. So it's not like
Yeah.
you can't, it's like
Well,
using it
it'll
as a
tell you
measuring tool doesn't
what's.
work, but
Yeah, it'll tell you what the following error is
totally.
when
And
it
it tells
does
you if you
that.
get weird, yeah, if you have weird resonance, because like if your tuning is out or whatever. So I've been
Yeah.
meaning to piss around with that, but I mean,
Ooh,
added to
when
the
you
list
figure
of a
that out,
thousand
let me
things.
know.
I will. I will. It's going to be like in
Because
2048, but I'll figure it out.
oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's just around the corner. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. No, so I was. So I got my uh, bore gauges a little while ago that we discussed.
Yeah.
Those things are magic. So I was making rollers for the re-rollers that we manufacture, and I needed to dial in the bore. So I went and said where comp, set it so that told my cutter. I told it that the cutter was like 6.1 millimeters. Bored it, marked it, adjusted the amount I needed to adjust, which is really cool on wear. So if you're doing stock, okay. So yeah, this is stupid, but it was awesome. So stock to leave, if you tell it to leave 10 microns, it
Mm-hmm.
will leave 20 microns on diameter because it's 10 microns aside.
Mm-hmm.
But if you bore it and you say your tool is 10 microns big, you mark it and it's 10 microns, the hole is 10 microns small, you tell your tool it's 10 microns smaller than that and it goes the same amount. There's no doubling shenanigans going on. It's really cool. So, nerd things. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so marking these things to like 15 plus 10 microns, like spot on. It's amazing to be able to easily measure round things. Like I'm gonna have to buy a
Sick.
bunch more of these ball gauges.
Nice. Those were just the like AliExpress special or
Yeah, I think the whole
nice.
order was $300,
That's nuts. That's nuts.
and they come with a calibration ring. I want to buy calibration rings right on the size that I'm actually measuring, just to make
Right.
sure that I'm correct, that it's linear.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I can determine, it's as accurate as it needs to be. And just being able to
Cool.
easily measure that, oh, it's so nice. I made a palette for speaking of one of the things there, I made a palette for my vases. And,
Okay.
well, some illiterate modeled the one hole the wrong size, but the other hole was the right size. And again, using wear comp, little bore mark, set it to, I bored it to exactly 10 millimeters, take my 9.95 pin, shrink, perfect fit. I'm like,
Sick.
yeah, was it 9.9, sorry, 995. So 5 microns clearance. Shrink goes in perfectly. I'm like, yes,
That's
this is what I
awesome.
want. I don't want to be dilly dallying with freaking little, the ball gauges I was using, or, yeah, the other
Yeah.
inside mark I had that should just be burnt. Yeah, it's really, really sweet, those little ball gauges. I'm very
Yeah.
happy with them.
I don't have any need for one. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll have a need for one right now after I've said this, but like, yeah,
yeah.
I've always wanted one just for that purpose of just like,
But yeah,
you know,
they're
to dick
super
around
cheap.
with a little,
Yeah,
yeah.
not the biggest range, like 2 millimeters on my small one, so 8 to 10 millimeter, and the other one
Mhm.
is 14 to 17.
I mean, for the
So
price, though, like whatever.
exactly, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'll buy 10 to 12 or 10 to 13, and then I'm pretty covered. Like
Hmm.
for most common sizes, I need to actually measure. I'll be covered.
Hmm.
Being
No,
able to
that's
measure
cool.
things accurately is really really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the key.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, actually, I didn't find that out. Shit. I didn't find how much shavings I took in. They haven't weighed it yet.
Oh,
But
just,
I've got a video. I'm going to be a dick and do things on the podcast that I shouldn't do again. Anyway, so I took my shavings in this week. I
mhm.
managed to get them onto my truck with relative ease, the
Okay.
aluminium shavings, but the tub was pretty full. So I think there's probably like 150, 200 kilos there again, which is awesome because I like selling shavings because it gets me pocket money. Um, but yeah, I took that in. But this customer, they they sent half a skip, and their scrap dealer was like, "Oh, why are you sending half a skip? You're wasting our time making us come fetch half a skip." So they filled the skip up. I sent you a
Okay.
video quickly, Kurt. Have a look at the video I sent you on Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the video I sent Kurt was the first truck that they sent to pick up the skip. We were all guessing on weight, so I did a bit of maths. I reckon that thing was close on 20 tons of punch outs
Oh, that's
in
a
the skip.
lot.
Yeah, no, Kurt's going to see the video now. I'm waiting for him. They sent a second truck today to try and pick this up. A double rear axle truck to lift the skip, and it's still wheelied.
For the listeners, it's like, yeah, a little truck, and it's just they're lifting it, and the
Whole
front of the
front.
truck is going up. Yeah, nothing else is happening.
Yeah, so they're sending a flatbed tomorrow to come pick up the rest of the shavings and stuff. So then I'll find
There's
out how
also
many.
there's lions everywhere. People are shooting
And a
guns in the air.
giraffe.
Giraffe. There's dust storms. Just exactly what you'd think Africa would look like.
Yeah,
No,
100%. Just like,
it looks like a metropolitan city. But
yeah, that's a bit of a shithole.
that's
That's
it.
normal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fucking great. Yeah, so they gave them shit for not filling the skip up. It was like half, three quarters full. Oh, don't send us half things. He's like, okay, cool. So they literally filled it to the brim with these punch outs, like 1 inch diameter punch outs and smaller. So it's basically like, I would say about 60-70% steel in that skip. Like there's a
Right.
lot of air in there. And yeah, they
Yeah.
just kept loading it, and then they finally guys come fetch, please. And yeah, their
Yeah.
truck did that.
You're giving him 100-ton block of steel. Yeah.
Yeah, that was freaking great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I got
awesome.
that video over the weekend. The guy's like, "No, check out," because I asked him about scrap, and he's like, "Yeah, no, it went well."
I love being petty like that. That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite way to do things. Yeah.
Maliciously compliant.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Not doing anything that breaks the rules, just being a
Unfortunately, my wife also loves to be maliciously compliant.
cunt.
So yeah, I get things hidden in the house. It's great. I've learned not to tell her she's messy, because then she just hides all my shit.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. Oh man, too much fun.
So, what is this HD stream cameras and monster PC, Kurt? Are you starting OnlyFans?
100%. This podcast is pens are going to be my secondary source of income. I'm going to have well, we do a podcast like every week, and I set up like what we use for what I use for a webcam is like an old smartphone that's coupled to my PC with a piece of software, and it actually works surprisingly well because smartphone cameras are ridiculously good nowadays. But I just want it super simple, so I was looking at webcams because webcams are dirt cheap nowadays, and especially through the wonderful people of like OnlyFans and all the other streamers, the price is just cratering because like everyone's buying, like everybody wants 4K web cameras, so the price is just insanely cheap. So anyways, I was looking at a bunch of those. I think I settled on a few I want, or one that I want anyways. So I might end up pulling the trigger on that just once again, just to make it super simple. So that when we do the podcast, like everything is connected. I don't have to set anything up. Might play with that. And then with Fusion dropping support for Windows 10, my computer runs Windows 10. It's not available to run Windows 11, even though it basically solves all the needs I want. So I'm like,
by the way, I got a new thing. It's ending its support in October.
Oh, they jumped it up to October now?
I believe so. I'll see if I can find the picture now.
Okay, because it was January for a while. But okay. Well, either way, I'm gonna have anyways, I'm building a new PC, and I'm kind of going over the top on it now. So because once again, PC hardware has just cratered since like I last looked at building PCs like a decade ago, and you look at the pricing now, and it's like, wow, like you can get a lot. If you have a $2,000-$3,000 budget for a PC, you can build a pretty monster PC these days. Anyways, just trying to balance between Fusion and the two pieces of software that are kind of CPU intensive or computer intensive, I should say, is Fusion is one side, and then I use video editing. And normally video editing doesn't use your graphics card, so I didn't really have to worry about it. But I use DaVinci Resolve, and that does use your graphics card. So now I have to get like a really powerful CPU because that's what Fusion uses. Fusion doesn't really use a graphics card, and then a really powerful GPU, which is just kind of makes the price go way up. But I also want it future proof for like a decade, so I don't mind buying like top tier stuff.
Yeah, buy into the AM5 platform then, because AMD have committed to support it for at least the next 3 or 4 years, and AMD's the best.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with like a Ryzen.
Intel computer. All my other PCs are Ryzen's.
Yeah, I'm going like Ryzen 9 series. Just full ATX build. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Pop-up. Do a mini RTX build. Come to the dark side.
No, ATX.
Mini RTX.
No, ATX. I want all the room in the world. I want to put like a RAID array of like 40 hard drives in there. I need all the room I can get. I actually kind of do want to. I kind of want to do a RAID array, but I won't do it on Windows. I think I'll do a RAID array in Linux because it doesn't make sense to do that on Windows.
No, it makes no sense to do it in Windows. I sent you the message that popped up on my Fusion, 26th of October. I think.
Okay,
15th of October?
TikTok, Mr. Filipowski. Yeah, 14th of October, but yeah.
Yeah, that one. A number of October. So yeah, I'm gonna have to upgrade my stupid computer to Windows 11 so that I can be frustrated every time I turn it on. Because
Oh
why
no,
does the login thing not just frickin' pop up?
no. See, it says Windows 10 will no longer be supported by Microsoft on October 14th,
Oh,
2025.
okay.
Fusion product support will require Windows 11 or
Yeah.
later with our January 2026 release.
No,
So I
okay.
think you have
So,
till January. But either way,
meh.
sooner
Yeah.
is more better.
It's the most frustrating thing that it doesn't just open with the login doodad. It's like I've turned the computer on. I don't want to look at the pretty picture. I want to log in and use my fucking computer. Come on.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
daft. But yeah, unfortunately, we're going to the last Windows ever again.
Sick. Can't wait
Yeah,
for
yeah.
10 years from now to Windows
If
12.
Fusion, even if it supported only a very specific list of Linux uh, distros, I would be friggin' over the moon
As would I. As would
because it
I.
is the only reason I have Windows on any computer is
Yep.
because of Fusion. Well, okay, I lie. My downstairs lounge computer's on Windows, but that's just because it's easy. I
Yeah.
can install Chrome and we watch TV on it. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
But yeah.
A lot of things to bitch about, I guess. That's a
Yep.
minor one.
One of the things that I don't want to bitch about, I actually want to shout out Alex from the Taps and Patience Discord
Okay.
because he heard in the podcast I was complaining about the drawings of the Titan, what's it, their building blocks or their basics, whatever
Oh yeah,
parts.
yeah.
I was
Yep, yep.
bitching that the drawings looked like they were drawn by someone at Autodesk.
Yeah.
And he sent me a link. He had a student redraw them all properly. So he sent me a link to all the files. Thank you very much, Alex. It's greatly
Oh, cool.
appreciated. I gave it to Carl today so that he can go and model all the parts. Because we're moving through, training him through all the building blocks parts. And I think he's here tomorrow night, then he's not here on Wednesday, then he's here Thursday, Friday. So yeah, we finished the M1. It was
Cool. Yeah, yeah.
it was quite fun because we ran both machines to make an M1.
I've heard
Except
people like doing that. I never did that
except
game, but I heard people like
uh,
playing that Titan thing.
well, I was running production, so I had to finish my production run first. So we got Cole going, and about an hour and a half later, he had finished his op one.
Right.
So then I started op one and op two, and then carried on running production, and then we set him up for op two. Um, the LK took 10 minutes. The slow EO took an hour and a half.
But if I remember the story correctly, yours has a flaw in it.
Mine?
Yeah, you had a
Oh
gouge in your
yes.
floor, didn't you?
No, I have pieces left over in
tough,
my floor.
tough guy.
Yeah, no, I didn't catch that in my simulation. The floor, what's it? The flat toolpath left little cusps, which is really annoying. But yeah, it's fine. Just don't measure there. You'll be okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell QC that.
Yeah, easy. And yeah, bring me your reference only caliper, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, it was interesting to compare the Slowio versus the LK and how the hell I
hmm
made any money on that machine blows my mind. Like
hmm
it is like watching molasses.
hmm
It's worse than paint dry. It is glacial. Take a comma 5 cut with a face mill and the spindle bogs down. Yeah, I cut the Jamie on the LK, 2 millimeter, gone, and it's a mirror. It's freaking great. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was actually very interesting to see them compare them side by side. Like his wall finish wasn't great, but he was using an old end mill. Like I didn't swap in a new end mill because he's learning to program, not learning to make rocket parts.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. Makes sense.
And he's
That
like,
makes
no,
sense.
don't waste your time putting in a new end mill. Like it doesn't matter. So like, no, fair
Yeah.
enough. So yeah, he got to thread mill and do all that. We were looking through all the drawing packs for the rest of the building block series now. So we can plan how we're going to make all of those, or how he's going to make all of those. I'm not really interested in making any more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd
Well,
rather make useful.
it seems cool. Like it seems like a good way to get your feet wet if you're not like if you're
Well,
kind of a
yeah.
raw rookie. It kind of
So
steps you through it all.
yeah, and like we were running something and there was a little bit of the chamfer didn't quite clean up. I'm going to just post the chamfer bigger. Post the chamfer runs it. It's like, oh wow, okay, cool. He's used to having to hand code this crap. And I'm like, nope, just go to Fusion, shit out the code, come refresh it on the controller and hit go because it's also connected to the network. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you just refresh code, hit go, and yeah. If the first tool doesn't crash, the next tool ain't going to crash because everything's set up correctly. Unless you call
Yeah.
the wrong tool number like he did.
Ooh.
Yeah, his tool library and the physical world did not match. And he used stupid tool
Ooh.
numbers. He numbered his tools 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meanwhile, they're actually meant to be tool 69, tool 2, tool 1, tool 9, and then tool 25. Because that's my numbering convention. But it's fine. He can do them how he wants to do them. He doesn't have to follow Jamie's stupid numbering system. Because my face mill is tool 69 because it's a really cool tool and I needed an awesome number for it. So
Of course, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
obviously, tool 69.
Oh boy.
But yeah, and then I made that fancy Vice pallet, which is awesome, and I'm gonna need to make another one.
Yeah, I think I saw that. It looks nice.
Yeah, so it can take three self-centering vices, with the jaws closing in the x-axis, or 2 with them closing in the y-axis. Because depending on what you're doing, you kind of need a bit more clearance sometimes. So I made a dual station pallet that does that, and I'm going to need to make another one. That's the one that I blew the 1 hole tolerance by like 1/mil because I modeled it. Instead of 10.015, I modeled it 10.15. And guess what? The robot does exactly what you tell it to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah,
But
weird.
It's fine. If it's out by a degree or 2, it's not going to make any difference. It's used for op zeros or op ones. So it really, if it's out by 0.5 mil, it's not going to make a difference because our order material oversized normally by about 3 millimeters, and it normally comes in 6 mils oversize because they always err on the side of bigger rather than smaller, which used to be really, really frustrating, but not so much anymore because now the machine just goes brrr and then there's no more material.
Right, yeah.
Compared to the slower, oh my word. So we chopped up a piece of scrap iron, we cut it in half, and then just gripped it by the bottom 3 mils and machined everything away. But the part was like 10 millimeters bigger in one of the axes. And it took forever on the Slowio. In 2 step downs and like 0.75 step over. Yeah, I dropped it on the LK with the dust maker and just went like 4 mil step over, full depth, evaporated it in like 30 seconds and was moving on to finishing the part. But I mean, that's what you get when the machine literally costs 16 times as much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And someone that knows how to build machines, like no offense, but I mean, we don't build machines for a living.
No.
So someone that does it probably can be a little bit better.
Well, I did build machines for a living, but not the point. They weren't milling machines. Speaking of, that company is, I think, shut down as of, this weekend.
Oh, like your old job? Or
yeah, they finally went out of business. I really thought it would be sooner.
Ooh, wow, I mean,
really thought it would be sooner. So my one colleague, he's been subcontracting to them since, because I left, and he was employed as a workshop staff person, never meant to go to site, like just workshop staff. And when I left, he got dumped with all the on-site work. So I was like, okay, cool. My kid's still in school. As soon as my kid's out of school, I don't need to be here anymore. Like, then his monthly commitments went down enough that he could afford to go and do his own thing. So literally a year after I left, he left. And then they needed help, so they got hold of him. Like, can you come and just subcontract to us? They've owed him $2,500 since December.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're now liquidating. They're another one of my customers a bunch of money. Well, not a bunch, like $250. It's like, it's fuck all. Just pay it. But yeah, apparently they're selling off assets now or something. I don't know. I really could not be bothered. But yeah, surprised it took this long, quite honestly.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's nice to get off a ship before it starts to sink. So
yeah, but so after I left there, I spoke to the guys from the local Omron guys who've dealt with them for years, and he said, no, this is what happens. They'll do really well, and then they won't invest in staff and support, and then they'll tank, and then they'll find something new and they'll do really well, and then they'll tank. And that's what they've been doing for 20 years. And I think this time it was just the boss man didn't want to carry on doing it.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, and the wiggle waggles are fine. Like the boom bust cycles are fine as long as it's trending up. Or if it's trending down, it's going to end too. But trending up is better.
So the issue I saw there was they wanted to sell like 10 or 15 machines a year overseas, but they didn't want to invest in having support staff on staff. So they didn't want to have more technicians or more software guys. And sorry, you've got 20 machines on site. At some point, 2 of them are going to break. And if you tell your customer, oh, don't worry, we'll be there as soon as we're done with the other customer, Yeah, that'll work for a day or two. But 3 weeks down the line, their customer's telling you, get your shit out my shop, out of my factory now. We'll find someone else, thanks. And that's literally what
Yeah.
happened. So yeah, it's I learned a lot from that, a lot of what not to do.
Hmm.
So yeah, we will remember them fondly. Like I say, the owner and his son, their personal assets, not going to get affected by this. Like they were smart enough to separate it from the business. Um, the business they'll liquidate assets and move on. The uncle resign, his son will go find another job or do something. I mean, when I was there, he spent $50,000 on roof insulation, bringing another brand into the country. It arrived and it was all the wrong size, and they eventually sold it
Ooh.
all off and got their money back, but didn't really make any money on it. And I was like, oh, it's fine. It's only $50,000. I'm like, dudes, you got to be kidding me! Like, you want to start
Yeah.
a business, you can just throw bucks at it, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Oh no! And yeah, that was the mentality, unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't know. I like when
But yeah,
people are. I like when. I mean, obviously, it's nice when people like when you put yourself into a situation where you're protected. But I also
yeah,
like the situations where like you're working for a company where like the owner has skin in the game and is like scared, not scared, but like wants needs
yeah,
the company to succeed, so he doesn't like. Those are the best
yeah,
companies I've worked for because they're the ones that push and like advance as opposed to being like, ah, if this doesn't work, I'll try something else. It's like, well,
yeah.
I'd rather you didn't have that mentality because I want this to work because you pay
Yeah,
me. So
make this work. Like, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Oh,
no,
bummer.
that's yeah. But anyway, it was interesting chatting to Ruben. Came past this week. He's because I sold him
Cool.
my old generator, and he phoned me to ask me how to start it. Because he was battling to start it. Because you've got to. It's a two-person job. Someone has to hold the little clutch thing, not clutch, choke out. Because when you
Mhm.
pull start, so it latches out. But as soon as you pull it, it creates vacuum on the carb and pops it back in. So then it won't
Right.
freaking
Yeah.
stop. So I used to like Danica come hold the thing, it would start, and then you let go, and then it's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
So I sold it to him, and he's like, "No, I haven't forgot." Because I'm like, "Drew, just take it. It's in the way. Sort me out when you got money to sort me out." And he's like,
Right.
"No, I haven't forgotten about you. Just waiting for them to still pay me." I'm like, "No, don't stress." So he came here and we helped him out with some documentation and whatnot.
Nice.
He's now looking to. He's going to start. So he does a lot of maintenance for all the ex customers of this company. So the guys are looking for grease. You get those little grease cartridges that you basically pop the seal on the back, and as the air gets in, it reacts and pushes grease out over like 3 months. So I'm like, dude, just sell these Oaks oilers. They're the same price as a single grease cartridge, and the
Mhm.
guys put oil, and when the oil runs out, it goes beep, and they know the oil's run out. So I had a spare oiler. I'm like, no, come grab it, go sell it to your customer, and then order replacements. Like, do
Yeah.
something different. Like, oiling is the way, especially in like woodworking and stuff. It's the only way to keep stuff from breaking. Like to the point that
Yeah.
I've got customers that it's worked so well, I haven't had to sell them replacement guards in 2 years. It's a little annoying
Yeah.
because I make really good com on selling them guards.
Well, time to
But
make a
obviously,
site visit. Yeah.
yeah, like I'd rather their stuff just work and I don't have to climb into
Oh,
their stupid CNC machines
totally. Yeah. No,
because
totally.
they are made by Italians. And that should say everything it needs to say.
There's nothing wrong with Italian made product. All their cars are.
Always break down, yes. No, this machine literally, you've got to you got to get it's an 8 millimeter hex drive, so 8 millimeter Allen key in a socket, but it's got to be a short one. You've got to lean in, put it into the weldment, into the socket head cap screw, feed in from the bottom an extension through a hole into that
Mhm.
socket, and then another extension from outside the machine through the hole into that extension. The hole's not big enough to pass it through, so you got to clip it in 3 pieces. Yeah,
Nothing wrong with this.
yeah. You can see my delight for working on these machines. Yeah, no, they are fucking stupidly built, and they use
Oh,
Omron
fun.
servos. Well, actually, no, they use Yaskawa servos. They're not that bad, but their documentation is to call it piss poor would be a compliment. I actually replaced one of their controllers in July last year, or August last year, just before INTS. Um, I replaced a controller on an SMC machine. These guys bought this machine for, hang on, Imperializer time, just because it's easier. They bought the machine for, according to this, $200,000 for this router.
Spendy router.
Sorry, $20,000.
That's better.
Yeah, $20,000. They bought it secondhand for $20,000. I think they said about 4 years before the controller died, and then they were told a new controller is $16,000.
It's up there.
So along came Jamie and installed a Raspberry Pi 5 with a Mesa card for them for like, I think, $2,000 or $3,000. Got the machine running. So I bought a 7R77 board. For the life of me, could not get this thing to work. So I ended up switching the Discover drives from analog, differential analog to drive them to step direction, and ran it on step direction. The guys were here last week and they're like, no, the thing runs beautifully. It runs smoother than it ran on the SMC controller.
Nice.
Yeah, like they reckon it used to like on a curve, you could see the thing like trying to keep along the curve.
Right, yeah.
It's a freaking, if you're within a millimeter, it's fine. They're cutting wood.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I got them set up and they're ecstatic. I actually sold them the old MPG off of the LK. So the MPG, nice. when I got the LK, when I saw it in Cape Town, I was like, this MPG doesn't feel right. It feels like it's missing clicks. It's not going fast enough when I spin the wheel. And turns out it only logged every like second or third click. So I bought a replacement from Chinaland, and I just swapped it when I did this retrofit, and they're like, oh, they want a feed override knob. So I'm like, no worries. Here's an MPG. It has one setting. You spin it this way, it goes fast. You spin it that way, it goes to 0 feed rate. And they're like, sweet, they're happy. So I sold them my old MPG to use as a feed rate knob. It does the thing. It
works for the purposes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like whatever.
Like, oh no, it's got to click 4 times to go 10% down on feed rate. So yeah, no, they were happy with that. But yeah, it turns out the Raspberry Pi 5 does the line extension. ISO at the time did not support SPR. So you couldn't use a 7C81.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I had to use a 7R96S that I had laying around.
Okay.
Because I tend to have all the Mesa cards laying around, apparently.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, I have there's a 7C81 over here, literally next to me. So you've got the 7. You've got the 7C80, the big breakout board for the Pi.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
I got this one.
Yeah. Oh, it's sick. Yeah, it's a little brother. Yeah.
And I made my own breakout boards for it. So I just get boards spun up and then jumper out. So I've got all that sorted, like can feed in 3 encoders on it, like fully featured boards. No optocoupling or anything fancy like that. But yeah, it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's what I put in Bertha 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it now works.
Yep, I'm happy with them.
Did I talk about that last week? Hang on. Yes, boats. Did I say I drilled holes in the MCO's turret?
I don't know if you
And I said I was going to.
Yeah, I don't remember if you did or didn't.
Anyway, it's working beautifully.
Sick. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's working beautifully. I made some stuff. That's the only machine I turned on today was the MCO. Made some little pin things, and then I got distracted and built compressor controllers and faffed around, went to sites and did things. People keep trying to get me to teach them how to use Fusion, and I keep telling them to go to the I Like to Make Stuff course.
Yeah, there's tons of online courses that are a good way to
course is the one I recommend. It's like $120, but it goes through everything from fundamentals. And the problem is, I don't teach fundamentals because they're just something I do. It's not something I think about doing, so it's not something I can teach easily.
Well, and I think it depends on the generation. I know someone it seems like there's a generation of time, kind of, our generation roughly, where it's just like most of us just want to figure it out by doing, where it's just open the software and just start pissing around with it and
push buttons and see what happens.
Yeah, Google some things to figure out when you get jammed, but for the most part, that's how I learned Fusion. That's how I learned any CAD system was I read a little bit of tutorials, but for the most part, it's just hey, I want to try drawing this and just struggle bust through it and be oh, okay, that's how you do that. And then every step and you could teach yourself Fusion. You could be decent at Fusion in a few weekends. It's not rocket science.
So I learned AutoCAD. So in high school, we had AutoCAD 2007. It was very fancy. And on the school server, there was a copy of 2000 with a crack. So I liberated a copy of that and to put on my home PC. And we had our first AutoCAD lesson in, I think, 11th grade. and we got given our assignment for the term and got told we'll teach you how to draw this. Yeah, I went back on that was on like the Thursday or Friday. I went back on the Monday. I'm like, teacher, how do I make a hole if I don't have the press pull tool? So he explained to me how to create a body and boolean it off. I'm like, sweeto. Next day, flash drive. Here's my project for the term. Done.
Yeah.
Learned how to draw it at home. Why am I going to spend a whole term learning to draw something that I can learn? Sorry, that I can learn in a weekend. And then, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously I went and studied how to draw shit in AutoCAD for a living, which is mind-numbing as all hell. And then that's where how I got into engineering, was draftsman. And then my boss bought Fusion, not Fusion, SolidWorks. Was too cheap to send me on a training course, so I learned how to draw on that. Learned how to do joints, watched one or two videos. Or not joints, they were, what are they called in that? No, not constraints. Anyway, joints. Learned how to do that. I modeled the entire machine that we were manufacturing with moving assemblies. Everything moved as it was supposed to. We could fit check. And then I moved us to Fusion before, like a year and a half before I left there, because I figured out, oh, wait, I can actually just program out of this instead of using BobCAD,
Yeah.
which
Well,
to
that's the
call it
problem.
god
Is
awful
like,
was a compliment.
well, like me, you, and probably 90% of the people listening to that, like that's our MO. Is just like, it's what we're interested in. So of course we're going to excel at it. So you take a course in it, like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's going to be a cakewalk because you're interested in it. Whereas like if you want to, grow up to be a freaking hockey player and you
yeah,
took, this course as an elective or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, you're going to suck at it because it's not your passion. You're not going to go home and just like obsess about it or dream about it. Like,
yeah.
it's just
Well,
same reason I suck at, whatever history. Cause like I like history a little bit, but like I don't obsess about it. Whereas like I obsess about this stuff. So
Danik and I were discussing this. We were driving the other day, discussing our 12th grade or our finals results, and I was like, no, I don't speak Afrikaans because, well, firstly, it's a stupid language. Um, but the first two terms of 12th grade, I got 21%. I could
yeah,
not give two shits about that language. And come end of the year, I managed to pass it above 50%. And I got distinctions in the three subjects I enjoyed, which was mechanical engineering, um, technical drawing, and computers. Because, well, they were easy because I enjoyed them. Everything else could just go die. I didn't really care. Like, my mom was, as far as my mom was concerned, if I'm passing, that's good enough. Like, as long as I'm
yeah,
not failing, carry on. Boys, do you have homework? No. We're going fishing. Okay. She believed us. We said we had done our homework. If we hadn't, we did it on the way to school in the morning. Like, as long as we were
yeah,
passing, she was happy. Whereas you look at some of the kids, like, no, must have 90% in everything. I'm like, no, come now.
yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway,
I don't know.
my opinions on schooling are a bit special.
I
I
mean,
did not enjoy it. Like,
me too, man, dude. I didn't. The same thing. I didn't excel at things that I didn't find interesting, or
yeah,
was like, why am I going to learn this? If I'm going to need this in later in life, I'm just going to Google it or refer to somebody that knows it better than I do. Like, it's not
well,
my
that's it.
passion. I don't need to put this in my head. Why are we playing this memory game of I have to recite? Anyways, I'll get off that soapbox because I
Yeah.
could rant forever about education.
Yeah, no, my mom was not a fan of the education system. Just put it that way. But yeah, so,
Speaking of, I said,
yes.
speaking of education, I'll tie this into this before we leave the topic of PCs. Since I don't know a ton about building PCs, because like I said, I haven't dabbled that in forever. There's two cool sites. Actually, the one cool site I found, PCbuilder.net. You can just like put in all your hardware that you want to use, and it tells you if
Yeah,
it's like compatible or not. So yeah, there's crazy cool sites out there. We'll link them in the show notes if you're into that kind of nerd stuff. Check it out. Um, but yeah, fun
yeah,
stuff.
I was watching Linus Tech Tips video yesterday where he bought an $8,000 GPU because it's got real gold on it while he was in Taiwan. Had a custom build made with it, $4,000 custom build, and then realized he couldn't bring it back to Canada, so he gave it to the first fan that he ran
That's
into in the
awesome.
street. Like $12,000 PC. The Zoic just like doesn't know how to compute this. It was hilarious.
I was specking out graphics card and I was like, okay, I'm like, oh, how much for like the whatever 32 gigabyte VRAM graphics card,
Yeah,
which is quite high. And I looked at the price and I looked at because it auto tallies the price and it was a
yeah.
$16,000 graphics card. I was like, $16,000. I'm like, okay, I think I can square down or level down a few steps.
Graphics cards are just stupid expensive. Like depending on what
They're
you're trying to do.
insane.
Like I've got a what's it? It's a 1050 Ti. It plays
Okay.
GTA 5 fine. That's all it needs
Yeah.
to do. It
Yeah.
played Apex fine when I used to play a lot of games. I don't need it to be at 1,000 FPS on a monitor the size of my house. I'm playing in 1080p. Like, I look at some of these specs that the guys spec out for PCs, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like,
Well,
this is just over
nowadays
the freaking top.
nowadays 1080p and like 60 frames is considered like kind of the bare minimum for like the
Yeah.
bottom end of gaming, and it's like, what? It's like,
I used to play
and everyone's like,
GTA on high at like 45 FPS, and I was hundreds. I'm happy. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't
I
need to
know,
be stupidly fast refresh rates. Like, I mean, this
I
PC's
know.
only got 16 gigs of RAM. I upgraded that when I was doing a job.
Mhm.
It made a big difference in Fusion when you've got a model that's got like 4,000 components, um,
Absolutely, yeah.
which Fusion really doesn't appreciate at all in any way, shape, or form. And then my PC, when I built the PC in the workshop because my laptop died, 32 gigs of RAM. It's a Ryzen, I want to say 5400G. So it's got integrated graphics. It works perfectly adequately for Fusion. Like, you
Totally, yeah,
don't,
yeah.
like, if I'm doing really big assemblies, I'll come inside because the dedicated graphics card does actually make a difference. But that's only
Yeah.
on large assemblies. On simple stuff, day to day work, that little Ryzen APU works beautifully.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
No,
Fusion doesn't, unless you're rendering, it doesn't really tax anything other than the CPU, and yeah, it's a
but yeah,
racket.
people seem to think they need a giant gaming PC.
Well,
Oh, if you
I
want,
mean, if you look at some of the games nowadays, like they're
yeah, no,
pretty
100%.
savagely like crazy amounts of like graphic processing, and you're just
Yeah.
like, what kind? Like you look at the RAM usage for like just, and you're just like, that is insane. Like,
Your 8 gigs of RAM is not enough anymore. Like, it's just
no,
really not enough. Even Zencaster shuts itself if there's less than 16 gigs of RAM.
I know.
Like,
And then you throw
it's,
in streaming, like if you want to play like 14,
yeah.
4K gaming on a huge monitor at 100 frames per second and stream, like you start eating up RAM quick.
But then
And
again, are you playing 4K games at high refresh rates while streaming them, Kurt?
uh yes,
Not yet.
100%. No, not at all. I'll play some No Man's Sky quietly at night with no one
Yeah.
watching. That's about the only
No,
gaming
that,
I
yeah.
play.
That's the thing. There's also on LTT, there's the compensator builds, which are always hilarious.
Oh
It's
yeah,
basically the most expensive PC they can build is fucking best. But yeah,
yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy that channel. I think I've mentioned
Sick.
before that the WAN show is part of my Saturday routine. 3
Yeah,
hours of listening to talk.
I've been poking around on that a lot lately, just trying to bring myself
Yeah.
a bit more up to speed.
Well, they've
So,
got their labs website as well, which actually does proper testing of things,
mm-hmm.
which is really interesting. Like, not mainstream by any measure, but very interesting. Like, they tested a bunch of power supplies, and they're like, we would
I
not
was
recommend this brand because
I was
it's
just
going to
watching that last night.
explode. Yeah,
Yeah. I was just
uh,
watching that last night. I love the geek details of like, this is the ripple on the 5-volt rail. I'm like,
yeah,
tell me more.
yeah. They're like
Whisper
super
it to me. Yeah.
overkill.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. I'm glad someone's doing it in the space. It's just not going to be profitable anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But yeah,
Cool.
anyway, what other fun things are making filing guards for knife makers?
Yeah, like the same ones, the little carbide face ones.
Yeah, so I'm making the
Yeah.
aluminium bodies for them and the little pins, and then I tumbled them today for a whole 30 minutes, and there are no tool marks.
Nice.
I tumbled 40 of
Nice.
them at once. It was great.
Yeah. Well,
It
you're
was
a big
noisy
tumbler,
as all
so
hell, but yeah, the big tumbler.
cool. The big tumbler, yeah.
The big tumbler, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
I
I'm
know,
trying
talking
to,
about.
yeah, ultrasonic cleaning.
Oh, I say, yeah, I was just messing with that. That's another thing that I found is fantastic. Take like a jar, container, whatever, of alcohol and just put it inside your ultrasonic. And then
I
I
was going
put
to say,
all
drink
my,
it like moonshine.
yeah, sure. And then throw all my resin parts in there. Cause a lot of these parts I'm making are like lots of deep holes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So good. It's so good. Like I should have just been doing ultrasonic. Now I use my big like cleaning station to just get like it roughly clean and just throw it all in the ultrasonic with alcohol.
nice.
Obviously not alcohol in the ultrasonic, just in a separate container because it makes it easier. And yeah, it works so well. Just trying to automate that process so I don't
Yeah,
end up, if this product does end up working well and I end up selling a bunch, I don't want to just be sitting there hand cleaning a million parts and just
yeah,
trying to
no,
trying to
that get
front load
old.
things. Totally.
Yeah, so I bought a allegedly ultrasonic cleaner off of our
Okay.
local Amazon type store called Take a Lot. It
Yeah.
was cheap. I was dubious. It
Okay.
arrived and I opened it, and guess what's inside?
What's inside?
A rumble motor from a gamepad.
Oh.
Just about. It works astonishingly well for cleaning out collets because you
It's a
just need to
sonic
agitate
cleaner.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
sonic.
sonic cleaner.
You
It's
just
not
need to
ultrasonic.
agitate the coolants. So I actually want
Yeah,
to go buy a little Tupperware that I can magnet
yeah.
to the side of the of Bertha, that I can drop the collets in, and I know it's not going to vibrate away because this thing vibrated across my table and then spilled, which was
Right.
frustrating. It also required
Right.
batteries, so that got USB conversioned, so I could run off
Mm,
a USB port. So I'm thinking of just porting it into another shape of Tupperware and sticking it to the side of my machine, just to clean collets between tool changes. It works
yeah,
super well, just properly agitating it. Like the
yeah.
stuff just falls out. It's great.
I know
So
it's
yeah, cheap
it's
solution.
the way. Yeah,
Yeah,
for the price of ultrasonic cleaners nowadays, yeah, everyone should have one because they're
they
they're
are.
so
Yeah,
good
I've
for just that.
I've got a big one.
Collets and stuff. Just pop them in
Yeah,
there and hit go, and bzzz, they're clean.
I use mine. Only gets used for these days for cleaning stuff before paint.
Mm,
But yeah, it's in the house because I have nowhere really decent to. Hang on, those are spelled the same. Um, Nowhere decent to put it in the workshop. Like where my
mm,
sink is, I don't have anywhere next to the sink to put it. So it sits on
mm,
a table next to the sink, and then the table gets wet. So I want to shift everything on that wall down by like a foot, because maybe a little bit more than a foot, towards the door, except the workbench weighs like 150, 200 kilos. So it's a little problem. So I'm going to convince my brother in law to come there, and I'll just use a big stick and push it along. And then make a little stainless steel table next to my sink for the ultrasonic to live on. Then it'll get used
yeah,
a lot more. Right now, it's in the house in my kitchen, where all ultrasonics belong. So yeah, it's a bit of
exactly.
a yeah. Well, that's where the sinks are, so that's where I use it. But it's full of. We learned that degreaser will strip anodizing
Oh,
in
really?
ultrasonic. Yes, I learned this on a
Mm.
batch of parts that I'd anodized and was cleaning the oil off of, and then they became all fucked. It was a bit
Oh no.
annoying.
Oh no.
That was like a year and a half ago. Actually, speaking of that, I need to harass that guy tomorrow. I sent him a sample and I haven't heard back. It arrived last week, and I don't know if it fits a Smith and Weston, so we will find out. Because I wouldn't mind getting an order from him,
Go
because
go.
those are relatively easy to manufacture. So
Right on.
let me stop playing with the
Well,
tape on the desk. But yeah, okay, cool. So let's do the things. What have you been
sure.
googling, Kurt?
I have been Googling a whole host of fun and interesting things. If I can open up my Google box fast enough here, get away from Jamie's videos that he sends me. A ton of them have just been around fusion computing requirements. Obviously, I'm building a computer, so I got a million tabs open on that. We'll just gloss over all 40 tabs of those. A bunch of
Nice.
product box ideas because this little widget I'm
Yeah.
making, I want to box it up differently. Once again, I'm trying to streamline everything so I don't like I wanted to be, I'm like, I'm gonna laser my own box. I'm like, nope, no, you're not doing that. You're gonna buy a box and you're gonna put it in a box and it's gonna like I want it pretty still. So I found some cool plastic cases that'll
Okay.
snap closed and laser some foam to hold them. This is
Yeah.
really putting the cart ahead of the horse. Like if I build this thing and I hate it, and that's kind of but I mean, what else am I gonna do at night? Like, I mean, they're gonna just, piss around on YouTube or look up this stuff. So
Yeah.
anyways, Googling a bunch of that stuff. And yeah, I mean, that's literally all my tabs are associated with that. So I won't go over all the nitty gritty, boring computer tabs because they're all just super dorky. And I'm just, once again, I might just honestly go on Marketplace and then just steal someone's gaming rig that they built last year and then just modify it to my needs. That might be the cheaper way to go about it.
That
But
is, yeah, marketplace is
my,
a really cost-effective way to find stuff.
yeah, my heart kind of just wants to build my own. So
I
we'll
know
see
the
which way I
feeling.
go. I know. It's just like I'll spend more, but I'm like, then I can make it exactly how I want it. And like, it's going to live under my desk. So I don't need like RGB and all kinds of craziness.
Pardon, you always need RGB. It makes it 10% faster. My desk is
I don't
10% faster right now. My
know.
wall
Is
is
it?
10% faster. My PC's
Yeah.
in Sith mode. It's just red.
Oh yeah. 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 That's mine. Mine's red too, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long that lasts. It might just end up being a giant rainbow of color, but with LCD screens inside playing CNC crash videos or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, over the top as usual.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How about you?
So
What are you Googling?
I'm 1 day away from tying my streak in Wordle. I'm at
Ooh.
60 currently. And then obviously
Ooh.
strands and all that stuff. Then we've got the collective noun for a whale because the quiz night, the guy was wrong. So I Googled
Okay.
it to make sure he was wrong. Then I was looking up Mumbo's, which is a place that makes. Okay, so locally we got Westpac, which is like it used to be an amazing place to go buy Tupperwares and storage stuff. and it's gone to shit. Mumbo's is way better. They got all the fun stuff. I can find rack and stack trays. I bought all their stock. I literally walked up to the shelf, grabbed everything, then counted how many there were and bought them all. It's the little trays I use in the workshop for just production runs and stuff, and I haven't been able to find them in like a year. I bought 20 or so, and they've kind of been stolen by my customers. And then I was looking at the anchor point, available at jspecng.com, because I always tweets to the website. Looking up that 4-channel optocoupler that keeps shitting the bed. And then looking up Doctor Who, because we just finished watching the last season. And have mixed feelings about it. But it was, in all, it wasn't the worst season I've ever seen. So that's a positive outlook. So I was looking up some stuff, how many episodes there were in previous seasons, looking for specific episodes to watch with Danica. Because, we both enjoy Doctor Who. She's really only been watching since Capaldi, which is, I haven't really enjoyed it since then. But anyway, Doctor Who. Because
nice.
Fun times,
why not?
The latest 2 seasons have been a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit on the nose, but it's fine. It is what it is. A tad too woke and a tad too look at me, trying to force plot points down your throat. But all in all, not the worst.
So they got to be running out of ideas. That show's been on for a century, hasn't it?
60 years. 60-year anniversary was 2 years ago.
Yeah, so a while.
A while. They've still got leg room. But we'll see what happens in the next season. I don't watch a lot of TV, but that show, we rewatched a couple episodes from season 4 yesterday afternoon after finishing season. Well, it's now season 2 because it's on Disney, but it's actually season 17 since the reboot. But I went and watched some classics like Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead and The Doctor's Daughter and everyone's favorite Blink. The creepiest episode ever. But,
you watch. Those are classics you watch. The classics I'm watching are Moana, Frozen, How to Train Your Dragon, Tangled.
Dude, I went to my mate's house.
All of which are savage. So good.
His son wanted to watch, Looper? It's the one with the mermaids. My mate's sitting on the couch. We had programmed the CNC or something. It was running. We're having a beer. His lighty wanted to watch this. He looks at me and he just starts in time telling me the words of the movie. He's watched it so many times with his boys that he knows every single word. I'm like, I remember when my nieces were like that. Want to watch Frozen, want to watch Frozen again, want to watch Frozen again. So, I know the struggle. My nephew currently, Venomous Snake. So, that boy is freaking snakes.
I threw Shrek on for my oldest one. She didn't like it as much as Frozen, but I was like, this is a good one. Trust me.
Well,
Shrek is solid.
Danica didn't want to watch whatever he wanted to watch, so she started making him watch Cartoon Network shows that she used to watch as a kid on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then he enjoyed a couple of them, was a bit scared by a few of the other ones. But he's 5, so.
Yeah, I know my wife got my older one hooked on a Sailor Moon. She's still a little young for it, but you can't find Sailor Moon anywhere. To try to so I'm like, you can't even steal it. We tried to buy it. You can't. It's even hard to steal. So anyway, we found sources.
So I watched a YouTube video there. Okay, well, I would assume you would know what American Gladiators is.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, okay. So South Africa, we had MTN Gladiators. So the one cell phone brand, MTN, they sponsored the show. And it had Gladiators. And as a lighty, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. There are no episodes available anywhere. The guy was saying, he put on the videos this is the only known footage of the one chick, her name was Fire, of her intro. 144.
Wow.
That is the only, he found the clip on Reddit somewhere. He's like, if you have it on VHS, please upload it because it's a ticking time bomb. It's going to please, if someone has it, upload it. Because that's the only way that the masters have been lost by the SABC.
Bummer.
I remember I remember getting the signature of one of the guys when I was a lighty because it was they were
cool.
super they were super famous.
Of course, yeah.
It went for 4 seasons or something. But it was a very interesting thing to look the nostalgia of it, and everyone in South Africa knows MTN Gladiators. Everyone.
Cool.
Yeah, and
I think
there was the SA versus the UK at one stage, where our gladiators went and competed against their gladiators. And yeah, we had a guy named Spider. He's like, everywhere in the world there's spiders, but only South Africa has spinnekoppe. And I'm like, oh my god. Yeah.
This sounds fantastic.
Yeah, old TV is great. Like, yeah, some of the stuff.
Yeah.
There's, I don't know, I'm sure I told you about Joshua Wiseman, the cooking YouTuber.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he did a cartoon foods video yesterday. It dropped, ranking all the cartoon like specialties. I think there were 12. That. Yeah, it was freaking good. Shockingly, the Krabby Patty won. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like he had a whole bunch of really interesting ones, and yeah, it was a good video. Danik and I watch them together.
Cool.
Hopefully, he'll actually do a tutorial on how to make the Krabby Patty.
Maybe Binging with Babish will hit that up.
Wouldn't be surprised if he has already hit that one.
He might, or yeah, he's kind of dabbled in all those areas. Yeah.
Yeah, no, his stuff's also very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so Curt, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at confoundedmachine.com, where I have basically nothing for sale right now because I just got over a thing. But you can sign up for the lotteries if you want any of those pens. I'm going to be doing this weird little widget whatnot thing. I'll have more information coming out about that if it ends up being something that I like, which is kind of funny because I've sunk so much time into it. If it doesn't turn out, I'm going to make it turn out. And yeah, other than that, how about you, Jamie? How can people find your stuff?
Yeah, you can find us at jspeceng.com. You can find the anchor point there. There's still a couple units from batch 1 available. We did send out some more newsletters reminding people that they're available, including the person who bought a pre-order who hasn't bought the actual order yet. So send out another follow-up on that one. So yeah, a couple of those. And then there's also the new shirts, which are very spiffy, and I look forward to getting some of those and sending some to some other people. And then, you can find the podcast at thelonemachinests.com. We have a Patreon. Thank you to our Patreons for supporting the show. Thank you to Jade from Benchmark 20 and Luke from Fabtastic for supporting on the higher tiers, where you get a shout-out. Sorry, the shout-out's late. I forgot to do it in the middle of the show. I should really... Oh, wait, I do have notes. I just don't read them. Yeah, thank you to all the patrons. You make the wheels on the bus go round and round. And I actually just messaged Dylan from Within Tolerance to ask him what microphones he is sending out these days. So we will look into the Patreon pool and we might raid that for some microphones.
Nice.
Because
nice.
Yeah, like he seems to have gone around and followed all the podcasts. It's quite entertaining. Also, really looking forward to the next Taps and Patience podcast because since I'm on the Patreon there, I submitted a question to the Patreon. Or to the Discord. I'm just going to go look it up quickly because it's freaking hilarious. Behind the scenes. There we go. Questions. Q&A. Question. I have 2 questions. First one is, AJ, have you played with the Anchor Point yet? And secondly, do you guys listen to the Lone Machinist podcast? Because I'm a savage.
Self-serving.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I thought I'm looking forward to seeing how that they respond to that one.
That's awesome. And to all the people out there, if you want to do a podcast around this kind of content, do it because I'll listen to it because I am starved 100%. For this kind of content. I listen to everybody, and then I even listen to like industries that don't quite play in because there's not enough. There's not enough. Yeah. So just if you want to go rant on microphones about dumb machinist stuff, I'll listen to your podcast.
Likewise.
We all consume tons. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually need to get another set of headphones for the workshop because my one's batteries keep dying.
I see. Yeah.
I'm very, very tempted to buy the China special ones that I found on AliExpress. I just don't like the way the band interfaces with the cups, but I mean, I can always just make a new interface there. It's not the end of the world. The fact that they have a 40-hour battery life is what is really appealing to me, that I only have to charge them like once a week. Well, realistically, twice a week. But yeah, we will see. Mine are being stupid. One day I'll get 8 hours, one day I'll get like 3 hours. And they are plugged in all the time when they're not on my head. Like, it's not like they're not getting charged. It's just being stupid. They were cheap as hell. I think they were like all of $15.
Oh, okay, that might have something to do with it.
that might be the reason. Also, the battery's loose, so if I shake my head, it goes tick, 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 and it's a little annoying.
I think you should make like a big backpack battery with like a cable that runs up to your head so you can like huge lipos. Yeah, run for a month. Yeah.
Now, speaking of huge lipos, did I tell you I built that 50,000 milliamp hour battery?
I think so for your boat. Yeah, And I spoke wrong. It's not a. It wasn't a Fisher Price boat. I looked it up. It's little tykes. Little tykes are what make
Ah,
these little
little
cars. So
tykes,
it's a little
yes.
tyke boat.
Oh, speaking of stupid little things, I saw a DJI drone yesterday while walking the doggos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it wasn't. That was being a
No.
diss.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
one of the small ones where you're flying with the little handheld thing. I was like, eh,
Oh, yeah. I don't like
yeah,
that.
be less lame. But it did kind of inspire me to maybe charge up the packs for my 3 inch and go rip the 3 inch around
Nice. I
because
did.
it has been a while. Did you do anything with the world's smallest drone, Curt?
No, but I did open up the simulator last week and just pissed around a little bit because I haven't flown on the simulator in a while. And yeah, you don't forget it. Like immediately, I
No,
was like, oh
it's
yeah,
like
I
riding
remember
a
how to do
bicycle.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, oh okay. Oh, now I want to go fly my quad again. It's been a while since I've been buzzing around with
yeah.
it. So
I kind of want to
yeah,
go tiny so that I can rip around the house.
yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
I
buy a
think I
little one.
might just. Did I give that one back to Roger? I might actually have one downstairs. Yeah, I might just pick up a Banggood special and do that, just so I can rip around the house and have some fun. But anyway,
Yeah,
on that,
yeah.
I think let's call it there. We'll go into the fun after show where we can
Sounds good.
discuss super secret things. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you know anyone who you think will enjoy the podcast, please feel free to share it with them. Give us a rate, like, subscribe, whatever it is on your podcast or YouTube player of choice. And until next week, we will see you similar time. Well, actually, same time because Danica is a slave driver. We'll see you next week at the same time. Thank you very much for listening.
Take care, all.